All right, please introduce yourself, state your name and DOC number for the record.
Sir, my name is Mr. Robert Meads Jr. My DOC number is 395867.
All right, Robert, my name is Brennan Kelsey. Along with me is Ms. Wise and Mr. Marabella will be your panel. Read some information to the record, have a pro interview, ask you some questions. You can respond. At the end, you can make a statement, we'll take a vote. You understand the process?
Yes, sir.
We have Daryl Miles that'll speak at the appropriate time. We have Shawan Wilson who'll speak at the appropriate time. And then we have Miss Ellen Mae Meads who is here. She'll be here as well on camera. All right, Robert Meads, DOC number 395867. You are a first-class offender. Parole eligibility date 8/1/2021. Good time 2/24/2046. Full term 2/19/2047. 50-year sentence. Attempted second-degree murder. Does that sound correct?
Yes, sir.
Would you answer Mr. Marabella's questions, please?
Good morning, Mr. Meads. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Meads, how old are you, sir?
50 years old, sir.
And how long have you been in prison on these charges?
26 years and 7 months.
So you were about 24 when this happened?
23 years old and 5 months.
All right. Let's talk a little bit about Mr. Meads at 23 years old. How far had you gone in school?
11th grade.
Why'd you stop in the 11th grade?
I had to work and go support my family. I was hard on my mother. You know, I grew up in a household without father, and it was hard on my mother. And I went work Mr. Dewey. I was moved from Thibodeau to Libertyville, and Mr. Dewey had a mulch tent. And my family, we was, financial crisis, rent, and barely had food in the house. So I went to work.
How old were you when you quit school?
17.
Okay, and you worked till you were 23 when this happened. Tell me about your work history. Did you work the same job all that time?
No, sir. I worked at Trico Marine in Terrebonne Parish,
Okay.
Patterson Pipeline, testing pipes.
How long did you do that?
Like 3 years, 3.5 years, 4 years.
Were drugs and alcohol ever an issue with you?
No, sir. I never used drugs a day in my life. I don't even smoke.
You
I
drank?
drink on special occasions.
Was alcohol at all involved in this case?
No, sir.
Tell me, Mr. Meads, what went on February the 18th of 1997? First off, tell me, who is Miss Margarita Neely? What is her relationship to you, or what was her relationship to you?
Me and Marquita, we met in 1996. Was together a year when I was arrested and convicted. Got arrested.
Well, let's don't jump ahead of ourselves, okay? So
Yes.
tell me, what was the relationship in 1997 between you and Miss Neely?
She was my girlfriend, and we split up.
How long were y'all living together?
Yes, sir.
And when did you start living together?
In 1996 of February.
Okay. Now, in February of 1997, when this happened, were y'all still living together?
Yes, sir. She was at the hospital with her son.
Okay. Now, that's not your son?
No, sir.
Okay. So tell me what happened.
Me and her had a relationship, and I was messing around with other women, and her son got sick. And while her son was in the hospital, he had spinal meningitis, and she was there 24 hours a day. And I used to go over there to the hospital and stay overnight. But I was having a relationship with other women, messing over Marquita with other women, which I was wrong for, because this lady, her son was in the hospital and sick. And I was at the hospital with her, but I wasn't supposed to be messing around with no other women. I was supposed to be there assisting them. And I went against what I was supposed to be doing. As
I hear all of that. You're not charged with messing around with all these other women. You're charged with bringing a gun to the hospital, hitting the baby in the head with the gun, and shooting Miss Marguerite. So tell me how that happened. Tell me how your infidelity caused you to shoot her and hit the baby.
I was self-centered. I went to the hospital and I wasn't thinking. I let my emotions get the best of me.
Let me stop you. Number one, why'd you go to the hospital with a gun?
I wasn't thinking at the time, and I went.
Well, what were you were thinking about something. You picked up a gun. What the heck were you doing with a gun?
My feelings got involved, and I went to the hospital and shot her. I take responsibility for that.
Stop. You're messing around on your girlfriend with other women, and your feelings got upset, and you get a gun and go to the hospital. That don't make sense to me.
It's mind-boggling, sir. It's very mind-boggling.
You weren't drinking, you weren't doing drugs.
No, sir.
So what did she do that got you so mad that you had to bring a gun to the hospital and go shoot her?
She didn't do nothing. She she said, I'm going on with my life. I'm going back to Florida. And I let my feelings get the best of me.
So she gonna break up with you.
Yes, sir.
You understood what was going on.
That's what took place.
So when did y'all have that discussion?
Like 2 to 3 weeks before this, it took place.
How long was her son in the hospital?
Sir, he was there 24 hours a day.
I understand that. How long had he been in the hospital when this happened?
About in December or January.
So he was in the hospital when y'all had this discussion about her wanting to leave you?
Yes, sir.
Whose house was it? Or whose apartment was it?
It was my house where we were staying, and I just had bought a trailer house.
So she told you she wanted you out, or she wanted to leave you?
Yes, sir. She said she
And
was going.
you got mad about that?
Yes, sir.
Where'd you get the gun from?
I had a gun. It was mine.
And so tell me what you had in mind. You went to the hospital every day to go visit
Yes, sir.
her and the son?
We never got into it before this. This here took place like 2 days before.
Okay. So tell me what happened, what it is that caused you on that day in the hospital to shoot her and hit the little boy with a gun.
I called her and I told her that I wasn't going to mess around with her no more. She said, this decision is fine. I'm going on with my life. I'm going back to Florida. And I didn't think about what I was doing. I just left from the house. My mama was asleep. My whole family was asleep. If my family knew that I was going to do this here, they would have called the people on their cell phone me and had me lock up. This here wouldn't take place. But I didn't tell nobody about this here. I left from the house and I went and to the hospital, went up the elevators, and I went to the hospital and she was in a room and I shot her. We started arguing. She was saying, get out the room. You're not supposed to be here. And I said, I just come here to talk to you. And she said, no, get out. I don't want to see you no more. I don't have no relationship with you no more. It's over. Then she called, they had a nurse came in there in the room. And
they kicked you out.
Yes, sir.
And you came back.
No, yes, sir. That's what took place.
Why did you come back?
I just came back. I wasn't thinking, and I was wrong for not coming back because I wasn't supposed to go back.
Where did you go when they kicked you out? How far did you leave?
That was like 2 hours before. And I went home and I left and I went walk around the neighborhood.
Is that when you got the gun?
No, sir. I didn't go that morning to do her no type of harm.
You had a gun with you when you went that morning?
No, sir.
So you got the gun after they kicked you out of the hospital to go back over there and confront her?
Yes, sir. That's what took place.
So now that you've been in jail for 27, almost 27 years, have you given any thought to what you did and why you did it?
Yes, sir.
Well, tell me why you did it.
I was wrong.
Nobody questions that.
It was senseless.
Everybody agrees with that.
I take like I take accountability and I take full responsibility for what I.
Those are words. What have you thought about what made you do that on that particular day? You said you don't drink, you didn't do drugs, you got mental issues, you
No,
ever had
sir.
any mental problems?
Just a heat of passion. I was weak. I was young and I wasn't thinking about what the consequences. Everything is built upon consequences. The world was built on penalties. And I'm paying the ultimate penalty right now because I'm guilty. I violated the laws of the state of Louisiana. I violated her family, and the community. It was a ripple effect on everybody in Terrebonne Parish. And I want to apologize to everybody in Terrebonne Parish. I'm not the same person I was 26 years and 7 months ago. I'm a different person. I have Christ in my life now. I went through all courses, anger management, living in balance, victim awareness. I took that 3 times.
Tell me about your awareness. What do you think your crime did to this lady and her son?
Traumatized. That's what took place.
Mr. Meads, you're a first offender, but you got a pretty significant criminal record. You've got charges of criminal mischief, misrepresentation during booking, simple escape. You've got charges for contempt of court, misrepresentation during booking. You've got illegal use of weapons or other dangerous instrumentality, disturbing the peace by intoxication, aggravated battery, simple criminal damage to property, another simple criminal damage to property, resisting arrest by flight, aggravated battery. You've got a pretty significant criminal history, even though you haven't been convicted of a lot of things. So tell me why all the violence and all of the criminality.
I was young and I made poor decisions in my life. And I'm sorry for all these charges that I was arrested on. It affected my family also all the time because my mom used to had to come and get me out of jail. My family members, ripple effect. They used to tell me to not, get caught up in the activities, stop doing the things I'm doing, but I didn't listen. I had a strong support and family, but I went against what I was taught. Adolescent, but I'm not the same person I was those years, many years ago. I'm different. I have Christ in my life, spiritually, mentally. I experienced growth.
Now, you were denied in January of 2022, a little over a year and a half, almost 2 years ago. What have you done since then? What programs have you taken since your last denial?
Thanking for a change.
What did you learn in thinking for a change?
Thinking for a change is built upon building up character. For you to have character, you got to have a strong structure in life. It's cemented on solid grounds. And that's what you need to survive in this world, to be living a righteous life. And that's what I learned from the course of living in balance. Because you got to have a strong foundation and structure. If you don't have no strong foundation and structure, everything will fall. First of all,
programs have you taken besides thinking for a change?
Anger management. Anger management is built.
What did you learn about your anger? How are you going to control your anger?
How to control my anger? Anger consists of triggers emotions.
What are your triggers?
Misunderstood emotion, emotions. That's what anger consists of. Misunderstood.
What are your triggers for anger?
To not get into no heated conflicts or debates. Dealing with life, you got to think about the situation before you carry out actions, which is negative.
I understand. Those are the kind of the rules you learn. What things get you angry? What makes you angry?
I don't get angry no more because I think about the situations before you weigh everything out. Dealing with situations, if a conflict occur, you got to be the better man and say, if you right or wrong, intentionally or non-intentionally, I'm sorry. You take responsibilities. You got to do an inventory
You
check.
learned some good things. I'm trying to get you to tell me how you're going to put those things in action. You get out again, and you get mad at somebody. And don't tell me, oh, look, I took anger management, so I ain't gonna get mad no more. You're gonna get angry. My question is, how are you personally gonna be able to handle that?
I will be able to handle
When you
it.
get to that threshold that you're gonna act.
I will be able to handle this here because I have knowledge. I have wisdom now. Growth. I'm not gonna do no crimes and all that. If this board give me a second chance and opportunity, I'm not gonna be a statistic of coming back to no prison. I'm rehabilitated. My record speaks for me itself. I'm a model prisoner that overcame a lot of hurdles. And I ask God to let him script me up every day. I'm not gonna go out there and reoffend and get caught up again. I got a strong support as my family. I'm gonna be around solid people that's for my best interest at heart. And I'm a stronger person now. I'm not young no more.
Where are you gonna be living at?
I'm gonna be staying with my brother. My brother's name is Mr. Rontrell Kelly.
In Houma?
Yes, sir.
Where are you gonna be working?
True Scope. True Scope is a tank cleaning service in Golden Meadow, but the yard is in Fouchon, Louisiana, by Grand Isle.
Have you had any substance abuse treatment? I mean, you tell me you don't have any alcohol problem, but you've got several charges in the past that involve alcohol.
I took AA courses in here. The 12 steps
What did you learn about the 12 steps?
that you got to walk humbly with God. He the only one can lay there and remove your shortcomings and everything. You got to admit to yourself, to another human being.
You've memorized very well. My question to you is, what are your triggers to get you to drink? And don't tell me, oh, I don't drink much, because you got a record.
Yeah, that was years ago. The past is old. It's new. I'm not going to drink no more. No malt liquor. That's what I used to drink. I'm not going to do that no more. I'm going to be surrounding myself around positive people. I have been incarcerated 26 years and 7 months. A lot of friends I had, they didn't disappear out my life that I used to associate with. I'm not going to associate with nobody and be surrounded by my family. I got nieces and nephews out there that's waiting on me. They always ask me, Uncle Robert, when you coming home? I say, I don't know. I'm waiting on to get a second chance to go up on parole or through the courts. I will do right.
Gordon, what can you tell us about Mr. Meads?
Mr. Meads.
I know.
Different. He's talking to me now.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
I understand.
All right. Good morning, Mr. McMillan. I tell you, he's a Pride member. His last write-up low court was 2020. His last high court was 2015. I really don't. He's been here since 2012, but he's pretty quiet. I mean, I really don't know much about him, and being here that long, that's kind of rare that I don't really know much about him. But so he's been staying out of trouble here lately.
All right, we
I
hear.
got a question.
Okay, Mr. Burwise.
Mr. Meads, I saw where you got a certificate that said you were at the Victim Awareness Week, Survivor Voices, April the 23rd through the 29th of 2023. So what did you do to get that certificate?
I went to the course I was in REAL. That's the program we take. REAL is dealing with rehabilitation equals excellent accountability living.
So what did you do at the at this event?
The event was in a chapel and had people that demonstrated and they talk about their lifestyle dealing with the negative and where they are right now.
It was about lifestyle. It wasn't about victims and
Yeah,
survivors.
victims, that's what I mean to say. But the victim is the victim's day. That's what it's all about, the victim's day. And I heard testimonies of people that went through a lot of stuff and about the victims in their case.
Now, when you said you heard testimonies, were the victims actually there sharing their stories?
No, sir. The victims, it was supposed to be some people come off the streets. From a free world, but they didn't come because
Okay.
something took place.
Because of what?
Something took place out there.
Okay,
The inmates, different inmates that was over the course, they was talking about where the victims in their case and what took place, and some of them sons had died, and they wasn't out there for they sons. And the sons were crying out saying, "Daddy, where you are? I need you. You're not here."
okay,
I heard
okay.
so many testimonies from different people and the victims in their case, and it convicted me because I know what took place with me, and I felt the pain of what everybody went through and going through. I was convicted by this here, and I shed tears because this had touched me also. That's what the course was about that we took. It was about
Wonder what was your role? Okay, thank you for
All right,
answering
we're here for Mr. Shawana Wilson.
that.
Mr. Shawana, we can't hear you. We'll hear from Mr. Daryl Miles now.
Oh, you can hear me now?
Oh, yeah, I hear you now. Brief statement, quick statement. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, my name is Shawana Wilson. I'm here on behalf of Robert Charles Mead. I've known Robert for over 20 years, and I've seen the growth and maturity in him since he's been incarcerated. He and I together have a beautiful combined family, and we intended to get married. And I will be helping Mr. Mead mentally and emotionally to transition back into society and to help him remain a productive citizen in the society. And I know with God, nothing is impossible. So I'm asking y'all respectively, could y'all please give Mr. Robert Mead a second chance and allow him to have his freedom? Thank
All right.
you.
Thank you for your comment. Mr. Daryl Miles, brief statement. Got you on mute too.
Still muted.
Yeah, you still on mute. Yeah,
Can hear you.
no, we can't hear you. We can't hear you. We're gonna, we know first 72, you're gonna you're gonna supply some wraparound services for him and you'll support him. We can't hear you. Yeah, we can't hear you. All right, let's go back to Mr. Robert Meads. Mr. Robert, would you like to make a statement on your behalf?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
I'd like to say thank you for this board and its members giving me opportunity to have this parole date. And I thank y'all for everything y'all done. I'd like to apologize to the parish, the Terrebonne Parish, the victim, her family, my family, and the community, everybody went through this ripple effect. And I like the victim to know that I'm sorry and I take full responsibility for my actions. The mental and the physical pain I inflicted upon you and your son was unrighteousness. It was unlawful. And nobody deserved to go through what they went through. Because I don't want nobody to inflict no physical pain upon my mother, my sisters, my nieces, and nephew. Nobody, because it's wrong, especially dealing with a relationship that goes bad. I
Yes,
advise everybody that go through a domestic violence to leave, depart if things ain't working right between the person and the spouse, because triggers can lay there and lead to somebody getting hurt, everybody getting hurt, because everybody go through this here, and it's not worth it. No man doing no wrong to no woman, mentally in abuse. That's
Yes.
traumatized. So
Yes, sir.
that's
Sir.
that's what I
All right,
say.
thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for your comment. Thank you, sir. Panel prepared to vote, Mr. Marabella?
You know, Mr. Meads, this is a horrible crime. I mean, you took a gun to a hospital and shot a woman. You hit a baby with a gun. I'm looking at your record, and I know you struggled with your high SED and you struggled with your education, and I realize that. And I think in preparing for this hearing, you thought it was important for you to come up with some sound bites that we think are important. I want to know where you're coming from, and I'm not sure where that is. But what I do believe that I've gained from you is that you don't think you have any sort of a drinking problem, and you do. Whether you want to admit that or not, you were arrested on a number of occasions for alcohol-related offenses. You say you're not going to drink anymore. I've heard alcoholics say that forever. I'll never drink again. I'll never drink again. I'll never drink again. I think you need some substance abuse treatment, something more significant than what you've already got, and perhaps maybe look into a mental health aspect of that as well. I'm just not prepared to grant you today. I think you need a little more work. So my vote today is going to be to deny you, but to suggest and hope that you can get some substance abuse treatment, maybe with some mental health components to it, that might help you understand that you do have a substance abuse problem that needs to be addressed before you can get out. So I'm just one vote, but that's my vote.
Ms. Wise?
Mr. Meads, until you clearly understand what happened that day, you could possibly repeat it. And I also would like to see you're a pride member, start doing some community service around the institution. Start giving back, volunteering somehow or another. And I'm not willing to take a chance on you today either. You like an insight to the offense, and severity of the offense is just very concerning. And with the way you presented today, you do have a transition plan in place. And you have, not getting any write-ups, but just some more insight as to what really happened. Best wishes to you, sir.
Right, you have 2 votes to deny. I'm also going to vote to deny your parole for the same reasons as stated. 3 votes to deny. Today, your parole's been denied. Good luck to you.
All right, thank y'all. Appreciate it.